All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's playoff time. Welcome to game one of the playoffs for us here in the winners bracket. We're going to be bringing you RESIN, the number one. Aren't these the number one North American team out of the original seeding? All right.
Yes.
Versus ZZHL, the number 3 team off the Chinese server. We've seen quite a bit of ZZHL in our coverage up to this point on the channel. Let's take a quick look over the RESIN lineup in green here. Start with Eagle Lance's Attilio Regalo. Going for 3 destroyers here, we have Fries in a Holland, unique upgrade. Mad Dog in a Ragnar with range. Zaf, we made that crack about Peyton in a battleship, and here he is not in a battleship, running a unique upgrade Howden Liu to his port side Mabuki in a Cerberus of all things. I'll be interested to see how they deploy that ship. Big Six in a Marseille. And last but not least, Legend Formula here in a Svea.
Yep. Very interesting.
Right. ZZHL in red. Zath, what do we got?
Well, more similar to what I just mentioned, they've got their battleship LY in the Willem de Rest with their typical setup for a, Dutch battleship with the airstrike boost. In front of them, going into sea already, is a Kleber and Smalland. Getting flashbacks to Stuck's game against Throw, because they did the kind of similar thing here.
You and me both. They did this exact same thing.
Yeah, unique upgrade Kleber, followed by Smalland, both of them using unique captains. We got WX1 in a Brennus. We saw him play Brennus earlier today, I believe. And then QL in a defense with that's Dunkirk with all the buffed skills for utility. We've got Ergo in a Daring. We saw him as well playing earlier, also with the same commander with the buffed skills for utility. And finally, Testchiv Zhao returns. And I want to mention, we're talking about these commanders, a set of Japanese captains we often forget about does have buffed survivability expert, so could take some more hit points in the game if you wanted to. And there we have it.
Well, we're going to see, I think, a little bit of Wolfpack on Wolfpack action here. Check out the Regalo, Holland, and Ragnar team all headed to A here, Zath.
Yep.
RESIN putting in a lot, I don't want to say selling the farm for this, but obviously putting in a lot of effort.
Oh, yes. Very much so. And you can see the Regalo right in front of Mad Dog, so they have the ability to get a smoke and a radar in that smoke. That's kind of fun.
Very clearly, this is a planned maneuver driving right into this torpedo salvo from Dadao. I'll have to see how they manage this. They can see it coming now. Eagle Lance is going to take at least one of these.
Yep.
There's the smoke. So they're going to let them have it.
Oh, and there's the Smalland radar.
There's the Smalland radar. We're going to counter radar back. Eagle Lance now boosting.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for Eagle Lance.
They know he took a torpedo hit in there.
Right, so they know his DCP is down.
They know his DCP is down. They know his HP is under strength.
Yes, and of course
he doesn't
have
as much damage on the Smalland as you would think.
And Willem
trying to drop the Dutch bombs on him. See if he can sneak out of the way. It looks like he can.
Yeah. Actually, it looked like he maybe took a bomb hit. I don't know. Either way, he's safe for now.
Well, RESIN trades a ton of destroyer health for an early cap advantage here in game one.
Yep, just a reminder, Marceau Napoli banned in this match. Oh
yeah, I got a button to push for that. Except that it doesn't work. That makes me sad.
Womp womp.
It didn't work.
Keep it simple, Sea Raptor.
What? I literally programmed all this stuff earlier in the day. Here, I'll do it the manual way. There we go. There's our ship ban.
Oh, Fries. He's okay.
He's fine. Well, he's fine from the first wave. Let's see what happens with the second wave, because oh, he's going to be okay. He's accelerating out of there now.
You can see from this the impact of the torpedo, a well-placed torpedo, even if it didn't do any damage to Eagle Lance. I saw that. Even if it didn't do any damage.
How can they even see him?
it would cause some issues with lineup. I don't know exactly how they could see. I think that was just a guess shot, figuring he might be there because he had just capped.
That was crazy.
That was the defense that hit him, I think.
It was the defense. ZZHL working an early health advantage here. Dadal's Kleber caught out. Definitely getting shelled from multiple directions here. He's headed into Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Gonna try and contest the A-cap from the other side of things. If he can proxy spot Mad Dog from that island, Zath, they'll absolutely push them off the A-cap. I have to believe that's the plan here.
Well, Willem Dust is in a good position to do that. He does take a torpedo, I believe a Cerberus torpedo. And Mabuki is just sitting there with the crawling smoke. Just chilling. Ah, there's Mad Dog's radar.
Yep, there's the Ragnar radar. They want to know what Dadal's up to, and they can clearly see him trying to make this move to get the proxy spot in. So he's like, nope, we are just not going to let this happen. Not with that defense staring me in the face.
Pretty smart idea there.
Yep, no, good positioning by ZZHL. I'm curious to see how Resin's going to react to this now.
One thing that Resin's pretty good at is reacting to the battle as it progresses. It's part of the reason why they're #1 on NA.
They tend to have a very good kind of sense of the overall flow of a battle, right?
Exactly,
in the sense of the shifts and changes. Trying to bomb the Holland here feels like an exercise in folly with Holland's AA abilities.
Well, and you can see both Payton and Price are using defensive anti-air. Shoot down as many planes as possible.
That Dutch AA is no joke. If you've ever driven a Dutch cruiser or one of those little EU destroyers, you know well. Man, the Cerberus is just eating this Wilhelm de Urs for breakfast, Zath.
Yeah. I wonder if ZZHL did this earlier, because remember, all the replays are up, so Resin could theoretically watch ZZL's games even on fast forward mode to see just where they put their boats.
It is very realistically possible. This is either identical or very similar to the lineup that ZZHL ran earlier this morning on this very map. Now, they've brought the Daring into the middle of the map as well, Zath. Check this out. Ergo rotating. He had been over on the 9 line with the Zhao, and now they've given that up.
Yeah, well, take a look at the Thunderdome.
Ooh, Thunderdome's about to get spicy, baby. Let's go. They're going to try and pincer Dadal, but I don't think that they know the Daring is here yet.
Yeah, 3 are entering. The question is how many will leave it?
Well, 3 are in there at the moment, but it's about to be 4 entering.
Possibly 5.
Oh no, is Price going in? Or Rock Payton's going in?
Yeah, possibly 5 here.
Let's go Thunderdome. Everybody pulling up a little short now.
There's the proxy spots.
Eagle and the Kleber proxy spotting each other. Here
comes the execution.
Probably win this fight with the Kleber. You have to believe this. He's going to have to do something. No, he did not dodge his torpedo salvo correctly.
No, he didn't.
Doesn't even get the trade.
Oh,
although his teammates are going to clean it up. And now Eagle Lance trapped in here with a Daring. They can see exactly where Eagle is now. Payton's going to take one of these torpedoes up forward.
Yep. Looks like he did not. He is flooding.
You know, Zath, they've pulled the Cerberus and Mad Dog out of this position. I wish they'd kind of kept them there.
Yeah, I really liked where they were. I'm not sure why they moved him, because if they were there, that would have been epic, right? They would have been in perfect position to help kill the Daring.
Yep, they've got shots into Thunderdome here to try and polish off Eagle. That's the Brennus way back here on the eye line, trying to dump shells into the cap and get him off the board. They're also trying to hit him with the Dutch oven.
Yep.
As the Marseille finally bites it.
Yeah, he was just stuck up against the island. Nice shot from the defense.
Yep, it's the defense that finally bags poor Eagle. Payton stepping onto the cap. Howden use hydro ticking. They now have perfect knowledge of where Ergo is for a hot minute. Are they going to be able to reset Payton? The answer is yes.
Oh, yeah. So Smallland is farming. Also, of course, Willem de Rest has the Dutch oven. He's probably gonna summon bombs from the heavens.
Indeed.
Actually, they've given up on the daring. They're going back to the test. Huh.
Well, you say giving up on the daring, but now he's dropping the bombs on the Erst. I think they realize they can pick up the kill on the Erst.
Yeah.
Peyton can see these torpedoes coming. His next heal still 15 seconds away. Wilhelm trying to get out here for the killing blow. He's not going to make it, but I think Peyton's going to lose his ship before his heal comes up.
Yep.
He is.
Well, we said 5 entered, 1 survived.
1 leaves.
That's why it's called the Thunderdome.
Winner here. Thunderdome here, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner being ZZHL Ergo in the daring. This is why we love this map, ladies and gentlemen. As a caster, as a viewer, this map is amazing. It generates so many moments like what you just watched. It's a blast.
Yep, and you could even hear the excitement in both of us as it was starting.
Oh, yes.
We knew what was coming.
You know it's going to be good. You just don't know how it's going to shake out. Too many variables.
Yep, and then Zhao, not looking so good. Just took a torpedo that forced DCP. Formula will probably finish this soon in the Svea. There we go.
He does finally win that fight. That buys them some time, but I just don't think it's going to matter in the end.
No, Mabuki Cerberus coming under fire now.
They've been hammering Mabuki as he moved down the 6 line into this position. He hasn't been able to do much damage back to this daring. I'm
surprised he hasn't used a smoke right now, but maybe he's figuring he's on the defense hydro. Okay.
Yeah, I guess he's on the hydro and it doesn't matter. Brenna's shell's falling in, and that's where the kill comes from.
Yep. 5 seconds.
Nah, game's more or less over. I mean, Thunderdome fed well here in game 1, Zath, but it's ZZHL going away with the win.
Are you not entertained?
I mean, if you're not entertained, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else I can tell you, because that's one of the most entertaining games on Sleeping Giant we've seen in a hot minute.
It's a fantastic game. Fantastic game.
Too much friggin' fun. I love it. All right, let's make some updates here.
Yep.
Let's see. Game 1. There's that. Up a point. And I believe all we have to do is now hit that button.
Yep.
There we go.
I want to take a moment and say thanks to Xanda. Xanda, since you're being taken care of on your end with Classic for modding, he's been over on my side just doing some prediction stuff and also being very active in chat. So very much appreciate Xanda. He is also reminding everybody, check your drops. Check your drops. Make sure that you're getting progress, that you've got it if you haven't already.
Good
that
advice.
Sort of deal.
Good advice.
This is the last part of today. So you want to make sure that you are getting progress on your drop. See, so I'm at 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I don't even have my drop yet.
I have not even been checking. I probably should. I think I already have my paid actor flag. I'm almost positive that I do. So I'm not sweating this one particularly. I'm not either, but it's always good practice. I tell people it's good practice for next weekend, because next weekend, let's put the drops thing up so you guys can see what we're talking about here. Sure.
Next weekend, you absolutely want to make sure you're tuning in on Saturday. Saturday, there's a chance at getting essentially a free Laffy dockyard if you get the 2. It's a 0.5% chance to get 2 dockyard phases, and then you get a free Laffy out of it, assuming you do all the missions. Or you can get a special camo. There's some other stuff. And then Sunday, you get the St. Vincent camo. If you missed that camo before, here it is, baby. Go get it.
Actually, we'll have to go check and see if I have that one. I don't know.
It's a great camo. Beautiful camo.
Yeah.
So
that
make sure you check on that.
Moment is playing on stream. My chat is loving it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
They're like, Thunderdome, let's go.
Yep. Now, if you don't have drops, or if you're getting low progress like me, you can try certain things like refreshing the page to make sure that it pops up with watch to earn drops. That way you know that that's there. You can leave audio up. Don't mute the stream, but have it at least at 1%, because then Twitch thinks that you're actively watching versus just kind of have it there chilling. I always say before, if you don't get progress on drops, you may have to unlink and relink your account with Wargaming, or close any other tabs, actually all your Twitch tabs, and then open up one specific tab with one of us. That way you know you're getting your drops, because Twitch sometimes gets confused with who you're actually watching if you've got like 5 different tabs open, and it'll just assume. What it does actually is it assumes that you are view botting, and then it just doesn't give you any
you get no credit for anything. Yeah. Have you seen all the shenanigans in the news reports going around about them finally cracking down on view botting lately in the last month or so, Zach?
Yeah,
that's been interesting to watch.
It's been interesting to watch.
As a hobby streamer, it's fascinating to watch those kinds of shenanigans and what they do or don't mean for the guys that do this for a living, right?
Does it blow your mind that the top people, that like 80% of the top streamers all cheat? Huh.
I'm so shocked, Zath. This is my shocked face.
Right? Seriously. How dare they not play fair? Oh, wait. That's why they're up there.
That's why. Yeah, I know.
And so for
what's
you
been
guys
really interesting. Go ahead.
No, you go. What's really interesting?
I was gonna say what's been really interesting is to see the people who aren't getting hit as badly, which tells you that they aren't doing it, or if it is happening, it's not happening with their knowledge or involvement or complicity, let's say.
Yeah. Because view botting isn't just the streamer doing it. Sometimes somebody thinks they're going to help a streamer out by doing it too. So, but the reason why view botting can be an issue is because a lot of times people look at the people with the most viewers and then they say, okay, I want to go there. I want to see what they're doing, because that looks like the place to be. So,
well, and for ad revenue on Twitch, you get paid by the viewer.
Correct.
You know, you get paid when you and I push ads out, and Twitch does that whether we ask them to or not. They're just going to push ads. You get paid based on how many viewers you have watching your ads, or how many viewers you had when the ad would have run, or whatever. So more viewers simply means more ad revenue. More eyeballs means more ad revenue. But what we're discovering, what we've all kind of known for a long time, but like now we're finally seeing more evidence of, is that they weren't actually eyeballs. They were just websites that people had open, like ViewBot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, whatever. It's just things you see in the biz when, as Raptor says, when you're a hobby streamer, or, I consider this between hobby and side gig. So,
Yeah. Side gig, hobby. It kind of is a side gig, right? Like, I make enough money that I end up having to report it on my tax returns, but it's not like it's not ever going to pay for my mortgage and my bills.
Yeah, that would be nice, but we're not there yet.
That would be kind of cool, but I have no expectation that will ever occur. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I've been very happy this year with the returns that I've been getting on my Star Wars Unlimited work that I've been doing, right?
Yeah, you've been putting a lot of effort into that.
I've been putting a lot of effort into that, and it costs a ton of money to travel to events and live produce a stream at a venue on my own, basically. The fact that I can do it is really rewarding to me, but man, the cost outlay of doing that is a challenge. So yeah, I've got one of those, a possibility to do one of those in October, and I'm looking at I've got to sit down later this afternoon and pull out a little spreadsheet and, go to, like, okay, if I was going to budget for this trip, could I do it? What would it cost me, like, out of pocket? Do I have to do the airline ticket on miles or whatever, and figure all that out and figure out if I can even afford to go, that kind of thing.
Well, because you got so much equipment, a lot of times you have to pay to check some of your equipment too. So
it depends. I'm trying to work on narrowing that down. I think I've actually come up with a way to shrink some of that footprint, but you're right. I either have to pay to check it or pay to ship it. When I went to Minneapolis in May, I had to pay FedEx to ship 2 of my cases up there and back. And round trip, that was like $400 or something. Because it's a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff.
Yeah, it adds up. All right, well, this game is getting close, I have to think.
Well, Dane says next game is at the 28-minute mark. We're halfway there.
Well, and Resin's here and ready. And ZZHL's all here. They just got people who aren't ready. I don't know why. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Now we're finally in the zone where we might have the opportunity to pick up a random playoff game here or there. We'll have to keep our eyes open for that.
Because this is a best of 3, if this goes 2-0, we might pick up a game. You got it. Or due to delays and stuff, if we finish this, we might still pick up a game.
Ah. Okay.
Yes.
Bo, I'm catching up on streamer chat. Bo's pointing out something that I hadn't noticed in the overlay system. There are apparently not all of the ships available to be purchased are on the ban list.
Yeah.
The ban list is probably an artifact of King of the Sea.
Yep.
Where some of the ships are just banned outright and wouldn't even appear on a ban list at all.
Yep.
I didn't even look at that. Let me have a peek here.
So, one of the reasons why I like to keep my old stuff set up is because I can just copy over some ships, or I can just rename them, and that kind of works too. Yeah.
Okay. And then, yeah. So, for example, like Hildebrand's not even in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll work on trying to fix that up before the next time, or we'll see if Wargaming does it, but maybe not.
I like that. Maybe not. Let's see here.
We'll figure it out.
Tournament, assets, ships. I've got one. Here. I've got one that's called to be picked, which is or forfeit, either one. So I can take that. I can put that in at least for now. Assets, ships. Means I'd have to restart the stream helper, but whatever. Okay. Oh, I already have that in there. Do I really? Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. So I can just copy that a few times.
Do we know when they cut these drops off?
You'd have to look at it in the inventory. It does have the timing specifically there. Why?
I'm just curious. We know when they start. I don't know that we know when the cutoff is. I've got somebody who just joined the stream and is like, hey, do I have still time to earn the drop for the day? And I'm like, I think you do, but I don't know.
The way the drop stuff works is
here it is. It ends tonight. It ends at 7 p.m. tonight.
Yeah.
So basically they're running them for 12 hours. So anytime in the 12-hour window from when the tournament begins, 12 hours. Yeah. So anybody, so then, that's got plenty of time.
That's actually very generous of them.
It is actually.
It used to be like an hour after that was it.
Yeah. It used to be like 6 hours and then you were done.
Yeah. The big thing with drops is traditionally, as long as you've started the drop and the stream stays live, you can finish your drop. Sometimes there's a hard no. They just turn it off. But typically, as long as it's gotten started, so in other words, if you show up for the last minute or 5, and I'm still going or Raptor's still going afterwards without the delay, that's why I do the after party. People can get their drops that way.
Yeah. Let's see something quick.
Looks like
Go ahead.
Looks like Torbichka is here. So that means what was he covering?
He had signed up for throw and iCUE.
Yeah, so he's here, so that's interesting. I wonder if they just went 2-0 or something? Or they're having problems?
Let's have a look. Stages. Playoffs. Not reported yet. No idea.
Interesting.
I'm seeing now Zapata had been covering that match as well. And we're on the delay. It looks like iCUE might have gone 2-0 on throw.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
That's what I am presuming occurred here.
Yes, throw went 0-2. Painzer's in here too now.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
So throw has been knocked out into the losers bracket. iCUE advances in the winners bracket.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
So, that'll be interesting. So Ayaya then will face most likely TWA.
Ooh, that'll be spicy.
That's
like
number
that.
1 versus number 1. Asia 1 versus EU 1.
That'll be entertaining when the time comes. I look forward to that.
Mm-hmm. CL up a game over Rain.
I see that.
Ooh.
I see that. I mean, I expected that to be a good series.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
HSR lost their first game in the losers bracket. Not good for NA. So did Bonks. Not good
Hashtag
for NA.
pray for NA.
Pray for NA.
Remember that? Remember that?
I remember the hashtag pray for NA, baby. I remember. Oh, that's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Too funny. Too funny. So they pushed the start time on this back, I presume. I'm not sure why. Guess because everybody was getting in here and they wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. That happens.
Yep. No worries.
It just means
not
that
much
after
coverage in the losers bracket.
No. So after this is done, there may be more. There may
is
be
very
more
possible.
people looking for game 3s and stuff, and everybody running to other stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've been given clearance to start. You may
Mm-hmm.
start when ready.
You may fire when ready.
You may begin landing your troops.
The shield will be down in moments. You may start your landing. All right, speaking of, game 2 has dropped. We are ready to go.
That's right. We are.
Back to Land of Fire.
Yep.
Oh my. Oh my. All right, let's have a look.
Do or die for resin.
Do or die for resin if they want to stay out of the losers bracket. All right, Zath. Take us into game 2. Talk to me about the ZZHL lineup here in green.
All right. ZZHL opting to not bring a battleship on Land of Fire. Instead, they have a Lushun with Dazzle, Daring with all the utility, Kleber with a unique upgrade. There's LY again in the defense. NN reprises his role in Test Ship Zhao with the unique upgrade. We got QL with the Marseille, with Honoré as commander, and WX1 in a Salem once again. Interesting setup for them. And I see on the south about the same kind of idea, huh?
Very similar. Resin needing a win of their own, also going for the 4 cruiser, 3 destroyer lineup. Going to be fairly common that we see stuff like this, I think, as we work through the playoff bracket. Frice is Daring, heading to B right away, backed up by Big Boy's Goliath. Those two will probably work together and play that flank. Looking like we're also sending Mabuki's defense over that way. Nothing particularly earth-shattering about any of those builds. The other 4 Resin team members, Mad Dog's Z42, Eagle Lance's Smoland, Peyton's Des Moines, that's a unique upgrade Des Moines, and Big Six's Henri Quatre, all headed to C. I'm betting that Big Six takes that Henri all the way to the 10 line, while everybody else works the inside line of islands here along the 6-7 line, is what I'm guessing.
Now, we've seen, for the first time this tournament, a Goliath Raptor.
Yeah, Goliath is one that has definitely made some inroads, and we've seen her in competitive play in King of the Sea even. You know, that large kind of over-calibered, let's say, high explosive is really, really good. She's, you know, you turn her around, you angle her away, you fire that over your shoulder, and like a Zhao, you can really punish somebody for having to push into your position.
Yeah. Now, the thing about Goliath is that it's a kiting ship typically, which means it's going to be on the hold side. So Big Boy, as soon as ZZHL sees the Goliath, they'll probably say, okay, they're going to go heavy at sea.
There's the Smoland radar coming up at C, trying to prevent the Kleber from getting the early cap. Smoland, the only one taking Didao under fire. Mad Dog continuing into the cap quietly.
I like that.
I do too. All the shells falling on Eagle Lance's Smoland here, as Peyton also contributes into trying to force Didao out of the cap, and they do, but man, they don't get a lot of damage out of it. ZZHL can clearly see there's another destroyer in this cap. They just don't know where or which.
Yeah, but obviously they're expecting it to be the Z42 with its nice
Yeah.
cap contesting hydro.
It makes the most sense that the Z would be here. No eyes on Didao. They can still see Ergo's daring back there. Torpedoes going in on Didau's position as Mad Dog opens up with his fancy shenanigans AP, which Z42 is really good at.
Assuming the target isn't angled, yes.
Yes. I have done some really horrible things to destroyers with Z42 AP en masse. It's a lot of fun.
Yep, I've seen the clips.
Oh, some of those clips are great. Now, I will say this, Sath. RESIN making a little bit of an interesting deployment here, sending the Goliath and Phrysis Daring super wide over here on the 1-2 line. I wasn't expecting this.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a mirror if you think about it. Zhao kiting cruiser, Goliath kiting cruiser, both spotting destroyers in between, and then you've got both defenses literally camped out on the same island, on opposite islands, I should say. So it's really both teams have decided they're going to make the focus on CCAP.
Well, and the other thing is, look at where WX's Salem has set up. That's going to be a really tough position for RESIN to root him out of there where they are in the way they are currently deployed.
Yeah, I would expect to see Mabuki be maneuvered to the other side of this island, and he's already reversing, so that maybe he can move up with his guns and start shooting, try to help whittle down that Salem.
In Mabuki's, I wonder what his range is like. What's the range on a defense? I don't know the range on his guns. It's 21 kilometers from Mabuki's position to that Salem. I don't think he has that kind of range.
Let's see, main battery range is 21.3.
Okay. Well, wow. Okay. He does. Just barely.
Yep.
Phryce angled away, was picked up on Hydro earlier from the Lushun, had to turn and bail out of there.
Yeah, it makes sense. That also tells them the Lucian is over there.
They kind of knew that anyway, I think.
Exactly. It just confirms what they think.
They've seen the other two destroyers over at sea, so they more or less know.
Torpedoes on the Salem. Island eats two of them. WX takes one on the tip.
One.
Yeah.
One in the bow.
Forces out the DCP. That's about it.
We talked yesterday about, late in the day, talking about ships that are the linchpin of opposing positions on a board. As I look at RESIN's positioning, I really feel like Peyton is their linchpin here.
Yeah, it just, the old I'm going to sit on this rock kind of deal is...
Yeah.
At this point, you can't really do too well with that against the more mobile teams.
Yeah. I just feel like if ZZHL can kill Peyton based on how this whole thing is lined up right now, that like RESIN's tactical position on the board just completely disintegrates, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yes. So I think they got to find a way to get him out.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Mad Dog didn't slide over and offer him some smoke, but that's not what occurred.
Yep.
Would have been a good opportunity there.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, go straight to Peyton, smoke. He can use the smoke to disengage and turn south and kite away because he's dead. It's just a matter of time if he's going to sit there.
It's just a matter of time. Yeah, as long as he camps there with the Marseille in that position, he will eventually bite it. It's only, as you say, only a matter of time. They are moving Mabuki over as Phryce and the Lucian get into a bit of a gunfight here.
Yep. I think Phryce is definitely worse for wear on this one.
Yeah, he's absolutely getting hammered there because he's inside the Lucian Hydro range. Defense shells falling in. Phryce might sneak away here. It looks like he is going to sneak away on about 1,000 HP.
Yeah.
The enemy is about to win.
Man, I'm surprised the Lucian stopped shooting. I thought he would have kept just looking, hunting, just to fire and that's it.
Yep. Now, Mad Dog, finally hearing our cries, it would seem, is finally smoking Peyton up. He slid over there to offer smoke to his teammate. The kind of moves that we used to see all the time, and you still do see in King of the Sea, these kinds of competitive events.
Yes. The problem is, by the time that they're doing it, the Salem has maneuvered to a good position to use his radar.
Even closer.
Yep.
Even closer to the cap, ladies and gentlemen. But now the Henri has shots on him. Solid shots with that AP as well.
Yep. So we'll zoom out and you guys can see the crisscross action from shells just high-fiving each other mid-flight to hit the opposite ship.
Shells flying everywhere. They can still see Peyton in there. The Salem radar keeping him lit, but now that the radar is down, Peyton is dark again. But that little short Z42 smoke is expiring, and unfortunately now Peyton is lit.
Yeah, Peyton will also be expiring soon.
Yes, we knew this was occurring. LY's defense taking a very bold, aggressive play here.
Ooh, I like it.
I think he's going to kill Mabuki. He is. Oh, he only took one of those.
Gonna ram.
Oh, that feels like that's not a good trade. Not a good trade for ZZHL there.
Honestly, it's the best they could hope for, because when you go in an engagement like that, the risk is that you screw up the drive-by and die. Yeah. And then now it feels worse.
RESIN with a massive kill there. They do finally bag the Salem, and now they're over 900 points here in game 2, getting close to a win.
Okay, now they're going to try to extract Peyton.
Yep, they're just trying to break line of sight there. Now that the radar's gone, at a minimum, they can break line of sight and move Peyton out of that position.
Trying to take out Ergo's Daring, too.
Yeah, he's getting some good payback on this Daring as he bails.
Yeah, but he still has 48 seconds left on his heel.
Good call. The Lushun rotating to B. But at this point, as long as RESIN is able to hold C and keep all their ships on the board, they will win in short order. Goliath coming under fire from Zhao AP. Correct.
Peyton detected now. And he goes back to hiding behind a rock.
He goes back to dark. We're having, it looks what I'm guessing is going to be a Kleber charge on Big Six's Henri here.
Yeah, I see it now.
ZZHL making what feels like some desperation plays with only 30 seconds left on the timer.
Yeah, Big Six, he sees it, he knows, he just turns away.
Oh yeah, his hydro's ticking. He can see this coming. 15 seconds left in the match. 10 seconds. He's going to be able to dodge the first salvo fairly handily.
Yep.
3 seconds, and that's game 2. RESIN fights hard and holds on for a series evening match here, a series evening game here. As we're headed to game 3.
That's right. Going to game 3, baby. Love game 3s.
Everybody loves a good game 3, my friend.
Everybody loves a good game 3.
Outstanding. I do love a good series. Do love a good best of 3 series that goes all 3 games.
Yep. Rain versus CL also went to game 3. And HSR XCL went to game 3 as well.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Good series then. Good series all around.
Yeah. Typically what happens in tournaments, so you guys all are aware, you have a whole lot of the group stage. Everybody's kind of learning the stuff like in COTS, and then they go to the playoffs, and then you see a whole bunch of 2-0s because you have some teams that are just that much higher than others in terms of skill and ability. But Warship Masters has been very different. Even in the group stage, it's been mostly 1-1, and here you can see
1-1s.
Yeah, so that shows you that the way that they're bringing people in based off clan battle performance, not bad.
I like it. I like it. And it's, the point system also is easily the highlight of this tournament, right? Because in an event like King of the Sea, you're told you have to field 7 ships.
Yep.
You're not told at any point. Actually, I think they finally wrote the rules so you could only field more than like 2 battleships or whatever. But like the tournament rules are generally written like, oh, you can field no more than X of a class, and you can't take carriers or you can't take subs or whatever.
Yep.
But this tournament is different because they don't restrict you by class. They assign a point value to every ship based on the capabilities of that ship and the utility that it offers to a team. It's why a ship like, we saw Hildebrand earlier in the day on our very first match of the day. A ship like that, with the way the planes, it has so much utility, so much spotting advantage. That spotting information so valuable.
Yes.
It's priced very high, right? Same with ships like Louisiana. Whereas a ship like Kitakami, we also saw one of those today, right? At the very bottom end of the scale is pretty well a one-trick pony. It's a torpedo boat that has well above average detection and kind of not much else going for it. So good luck with that.
Yep, but you see the variety though, and that's one thing that's really nice. COTS, for me personally, is one of the more boring tournaments to cast because it's almost always the same kind of meta ships that you see, and at a certain point, you can't even have enough ban slots to fix it, right? Like 4 bans still doesn't fix the meta issues, where you get the death snails and you get ships sitting inside of them, pew-pewing outside, blah, blah. We haven't seen a single death snail this tournament.
Haven't. Well, think about it. What ships normally do that? A Gearing.
The expensive ones.
Or, exactly, the expensive ones. A Gearing and a Nevsky. Or a legendary Harugamo and a Nevsky.
Yeah.
That's 50 points. You
That's
can't
right.
afford that.
No,
That's
you
insane.
Can't. So that's one thing that's really fun about this tournament, and I think that they did a really nice job with it when they put it together.
Absolutely.
And those values, of course, have been tweaked, and part of the game for the players, as well, so to speak, for us casters and you, the viewers, is trying to figure out what's the meta ship going to be. Which ship is priced lower than it deserves to be. And that's always fun to see.
Where's that sweet spot? What ship is slightly undervalued, and how can I maximize that in any given lineup, right? That kind of thing.
Exactly.
And we've seen that over the years, right? As the prices of ships in these lineups has shifted and moved and changed and so on. Some ships having to go up in cost, some ships being able to come down in cost.
Yes. Yep. Last iteration of Warship Masters, like we said yesterday, it was the Elbing that was the kind of considered to be the best cheap boat, the most cost-effective boat. So we saw tons of Elbings everywhere.
Okay.
Which made people like Grunty very happy because he loves Elbing. But the majority of other people were just like, all right. I mean, and that's kind of what I think they've been trying to do this time with the Regolo. It's just not working.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about why that is, right? Like Regolo is just such a tough ship. It's basically a light cruiser that's only really good at murdering destroyers in an environment where it kind of struggles to do that even, right? It struggles to do that even in randoms. So asking people to do that here is really tough.
Yes.
At best, you can kind of think of it like maybe a cheaper Kleber, kind of, but it's far less capable than Kleber. Kleber is a real legit threat to almost any ship on the board, right? Has to respect a Kleber. I don't know that you can say that about Regolo.
No. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Tromp yet. I think Tromp deserves to be played more. In my opinion, Druid is absolutely a worthwhile boat, even though it's AP only and all that. I think she's a good choice. In my opinion, better than a Vamp Deuce.
We've seen a little bit of Druid, but we've seen more Vampire Deuce than we have Druid. We have started to see some Z42 in certain maps, which is a boat that we both like. I think there's absolutely a value there. We saw some Barbie yesterday, some Albertico, right?
Yeah.
Alberico? How do you say this?
Barbiano.
Alberico de Barbiano.
Yep.
We even saw Georg Hoffman, which surprised me.
I was surprised to see Hoffman, yes. We haven't seen Hull yet.
No, we saw a whole lot of Cassard.
And we haven't seen La Pampa. La Pampa would be fun to watch.
I'm still surprised we have not seen La Pampa. I'm wondering if teams have tried it and it hasn't worked for them. Or what? I'm just curious. Like, I legit don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I think we're going to get sucked into the official CN cast here in a minute.
They've been saying they'll hold the game, so it's possible.
think
But
that's
that
why.
game, that game went to game 3, 9:32.
Oh,
So,
did it?
Yeah, it should be finishing soon. So maybe they're holding it in case that
that's-
finishes.
That's what I'm thinking. I
Yeah.
think they're holding this one.
So,
So that
whatever.
when Reign CL finishes, they'll come over here because ZZHL is another CN team.
Yeah.
So they're gonna.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna hold this one for the CN cast. Our
Yeah.
clever plan has failed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep,
we
backfired on
apologize.
us. Oh well.
Yep, we apologize. I think the only way to avoid the CN official would have been to just avoid the CN teams.
Yes. Yes. Or ironically enough, just stay with CN official.
Also, might not have been terrible.
But
Also,
whatever.
might not have been terrible. Yeah, it's cool. We are where we are.
Yeah.
Resin is confused because it's like they were told they start in 5 minutes and now they're basically saying hold. Like, well, what are we
Yeah.
doing? I don't know. They'll
Yeah, and
figure
see,
it out.
this is the frustrating part of tournament play for the players. Is
Yes.
exactly what's happening right now. They're being told that they need to hold, but to be ready.
Yep.
So it's like, hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. Whole lot of hurry up and wait in these kinds of events. And I can't say much because I've been on the other end of that, right? I've been part
yeah.
of the official cast. You've been part of the official cast. Where
Yeah.
like, you know, they just have to adapt. That's just part of it. Part of the game you have to play.
All right, Raptor, it's been fun, but I got my drops. I'll see you later.
Okay, man. See you. Have a good one.
You know, the drop system is nice because, of course, it encourages people to tune in, and hopefully you guys are staying past that because, you know, the content is fun to watch.
I mean, we certainly would hope so.
We're being told to wait for 55. Now
I mean,
been
that's
announced.
not so terrible. That's only a minute off of what they originally announced. That's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all right. That's only 2-3 minutes away.
It's like,
We'll manage.
yeah, right. It's like Game of Thrones when all the archers are pulled back and they're being told to hold, and like you could see that
Any
they're.
idea how much it hurts? I mean, if you've ever drawn an actual bow,
Yeah.
you know how difficult that is, and then to sit there and hold it, like that is not easy.
Especially if it, you know, it kite it out for war, right? Not just like a little dinky thing you do
Yes.
at school. It's like, boom,
Yes.
yep, here comes the streamers.
Ah, I see now. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna get CN official coming in here. It looks like. That's my guess, anyway.
Yeah, they are streaming in.
Yep.
So we picked a good match, but unfortunately, we didn't get to see as many games as we'd hoped for.
Yep. On our clever plan backfired, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies.
Womp womp.
I'm loving this. This interaction in chat is a riot.
They're trying to make room for all the streamers because, of course, there's only so many spectator slots. There's 40 of them, but they try to keep it to 20 or below.
They try to hold the minimum, yeah.
So, yeah, they said, okay, get rid of anybody who's not a streamer, and one person's taking slight offense to that.
Well, because he's not either. He's not a player or a streamer. He's just sitting in the room.
Right, but he's a player for another team, so obviously he wanted to watch.
Yes. He
Which I
just
get.
wanted to come in and just mess around with everybody, right? But that's
Sure,
still
why not?
hilarious. That's so funny. Oh my goodness.
It's always fun to see things from behind the scenes and how it all works.
Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's not so. Sometimes knowing how the sausage is made, Zath, is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
CL defeats Reign 2-1.
Damn.
Check that out. Reign in the losers bracket now.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? TSYMQ also gets knocked out of the losers bracket, Zath. That was the CN number 1 seed.
That was China's number 1.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Nope.
Knocked off by the EU 8 seed in straight games. I love this event. I love this event for crazy stuff like that. I absolutely love it.
Yep.
Just waiting to see what's happened because Bonks clawed back in. They're tied up with Azuma. HSR also won game 2. They're tied up again.
Mm-hmm.
So they're fighting to stay in the losers bracket. And of course, our lone NA team in the winners bracket here is RESIN.
Yeah, and my guess is all the other games have started.
Yes,
so,
I think we're the last one that hasn't started.
yeah, which is why they're holding everything and everybody's here.
Which is why they're yeah.
Unfortunately, that means that will do it for the tournament after this. But of course, I don't know if you're planning. I'm going to be doing the after party as usual.
I will probably not. I'll probably just raid everybody into you like I did yesterday and let you have fun. And then folks that want to continue working on their drops can come hang out with you. I know you normally stream on Sundays anyway to do replay analysis and that sort of thing, right?
Right.
Yep.
Oh no! Yep. Now they're going back to 58. My guess is
the joy of getting caught by the official cast. We tried.
Yep.
We tried, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. So now you all understand.
An attempt.
There was an attempt. We tried.
This is why. This is why we avoid the official cast.
But in any case, normally I do replay analysis. Today I probably won't, just because when we do tournament days, one, I'm getting up way earlier than normal. I'm tired in general.
Yep.
And two, my brain is typically fried by the time we get to, the after party. So I'll probably just go and play ranked and beat up on people with Lo Yang, or I don't know.
I tell you, Zath, I have been absolutely. I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm going to say it again. I've been absolutely adoring the ops that we've been doing lately, the story ops, because it's been nice to just log in and relax and not just not feel rushed or whatever. It's just been really nice.
And that's one of the reasons why most of the time when I'm playing and I do divisions, like I let the chat vote, right? Do I do solo ranked or do you want a division? We'll typically division in a not randoms game mode. So brawls, operations, what have you, because it's just a little bit more fun.
Yep. So even late last night, right? Like it was fairly late in the day and I was like, I don't want to deal with randoms, but I just logged in and queued up in Vallejo and went and murdered things for a while. I actually played that scenario in a battleship for the first time, which I hadn't done. I took out a Georgia and had like 325,000 damage. I was like, turns out this boat's pretty good in this scenario.
Oh, Georgia's great. Illinois is the best. Illinois is considered the meta.
I think Illinois was the one that I wanted to try, but hadn't tried yet.
Yeah. So I did that all day yesterday for like 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
So I'm already done grinding all the stars for this week or whatever.
Everybody breaking out the big point sinks as we head in. Let's do this, baby. All right, it's the rubber game of this best of 3 series between RESIN and ZZHL as we head to Hotspot. And man, what a lineup. This is going to be fascinating to check out. Here we go. I got to get the camera in the right place. Zath, talk to me about the RESIN lineup in green.
All right, so RESIN up in the north has a Holland, a Smalland, a Z42, so Mad Dog, Eagle Lance, and Frice doing their usual thing. That's a unique upgrade Holland. Legend Formula is in a Zhao. This is not Test Ship Zhao, though. This time it's Reload. Big Six is in the Stalingrad with range. Big Boy 69 is in Prince Van Oranje. And finally, we've got Payton in a battleship in the Repub. Worth noting, he died horribly yesterday in the middle of this map in Seacap in a battleship.
Oh yeah, in a Poison. I forgot about that. That was rough.
That was hard to watch. That was really hard to watch.
All right. ZZHL sinking their points and their hopes onto LY's Hildebrand here. Be curious to see how this works out for them. Fielding only a single destroyer, Dadao's Daring. Otherwise, a 6 cruiser lineup. Going with a double Brennus. 1211s here, speed boosting over to C. Backed up by WX, headed that same direction as well. We've got Ergo in a Howden Liu. Probably, I'm guessing, going to hang behind Dadao here at Daring. Dadao's Daring here over south of C. QL's defense. We'll see how he sets up. And at the moment, NN's Prince Orangi, the first time seeing him not take a Zao that I can think of, headed over towards the 9-10 line.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I feel like Resin might have been doing some studying about ZZHL's lineup on this map and realizing that they like to go cruiser heavy, because Repub is very much an anti-cruiser battleship, right?
Yeah, she's really good with those 431s. That's such a skanky caliber for murdering cruisers.
Oh yeah.
The other thing that interests me of note, Holland and Småland, two of the most airplane resistant destroyers you could possibly field, Zath.
True. Very true. And one's about to be detected.
Well, you see, Eagle gets spotted there, but again, look at how quickly that AA just is like, yeah, LOL, pound sand.
Right?
They're going to try to get a drop in on Mad Dog Z42. He's going to get one torpedo into the water, but it's not even going to be remotely close to threatening the ship.
But here come the Dutch airplanes.
Yeah, they know approximately where to look.
Well, they know exactly where to look because he was spotted.
He was spotted, but he's smoked now. They don't know where he is in the smoke. They just know he's roughly there. They can see Dadao now, that long-range Z42 Hydro, going to push him off the cap. As now he's actually moving back up into this Prince Orangi Dutch oven strike. That hurts him a little bit. So the early C cap going to Resin here.
Yep, LY able to get another squadron up already. He's going to go find Eagle Lands again.
Yep, who's basically going to say, I'm a Småland, I care not for your shenanigans. Your teammates are going to have to shoot me because your torpedoes will never survive to drop me.
Yep.
Look how efficiently Småland, even without a defensive fire, just murders these airplanes. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah. But it's the same thing.
Absolutely
go
a thing of
in,
beauty.
lose 2 planes, go spot Mad Dog.
Yep.
Recycle.
Waste your time trying to get a torpedo on him. Fail. The Dow giving up a lot of HP, not really getting anything for it. So now, Resin sitting on a two-cap lead, or say a cap lead, 50 points and climbing in the early going here. We'll have to see how they decide to play this, because man, in my mind, Mad Dog's position is very precarious. He can hold this for a while. He cannot hold it indefinitely.
No. And pretty soon, I think after this.
Don't do that. Oh, another 5 or 6K disappearing. You see my point, though. Eventually, these Dutch airstrikes are just absolutely going to ruin his life.
Oh, absolutely. The other thing, too, is I think after this strike from the Hildebrand, we have the bombers coming.
Yeah, the bombers should be online very soon.
The HE bombers. The LOL bombers.
Yep.
The ones that we
watched ones that we watched absolutely dunk a destroyer earlier in the day. The other time we've seen a Hildebrand fielded. Dadao basically deciding, okay, that's not working. I've had enough. He's bailing out. We'll see how long Resin leaves Mad Dog in the C cap. Bombers look like they might be going for the Stalin, or they might stumble into the Stalingrad, who also has defensive fire because he can't help himself. He has to take defensive fire. He's a Stalingrad.
Be defensive. Yep. LY is noping away from that.
Yep, he's like, well, want no part of this. Now, what do you suppose Legend and Peyton are back to this far back in the map?
Oh, they're sussing out a big push over on this flank. They haven't seen a lot of the cruisers yet.
They're seeing the double Brennus push and basically are like, they haven't seen the Brennuses and they suspect it's coming up the 1-2 line and they're just setting up for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got Frisis Holland way the heck down on the 9 line already. That gives them all the information that they need.
Yeah, that's true. They know the Brennus push isn't coming up the 10 line, so they have to suspect it's coming up the 1 line.
Look at LY forcing this drop on Eagle Lance. Good damage, but
you got some damage out of it, but Smallin's just going to heal most of that back.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have rather seen him use that against the Zao or the Repub.
So here comes the push, Zath. We're seeing the defense and at least one Brennus trying to move up, the defense moving up inside the island chain here. They've realized, ZZHL realizing they're not going to get into C, not the way that things are configured over there.
No.
Hildebrand trying for a strike now on Peyton's Republique. Probably going to land at least one of these torpedoes, I'm guessing.
Most likely. Well, he only has one that he drops.
He only got one into the water, and it is gonna hit home, but right on the belt.
Yep. The Zhao's anti-air actually helping with the flak.
Yep. Peyton landing some decent damage on QL's defense there. Mad Dog's Hydro back up, covering the C cap. They know that the Daring has moved off somewhere else. Looks like they're trying to sneak Dadao's Daring into the very, very bottom edge of the A cap, Zath.
Yeah, and with the Stalingrad there, I mean, that's not really going to work.
Yeah. Well, and Eagle Lance is not that far away.
Yeah, and he's got radar too.
Yeah. Dadao already inside Stalingrad radar range as he makes this play. Eagle Lance had already launched these torpedoes in this general direction as well. The Daring Hydro is offline. Dadao trying for the Conga line torpedoes to threaten Big Six's Stalingrad.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to spot Eagle Lance and then gave up on it.
I see what they've done with the Howden Liu. They're using the Howden Liu to push Mad Dog out of the C cap as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and also to step on the C cap to buy them a little bit more time. Also, it forces Eagle Lance back a little bit so that the Dow can back in with the Daring.
Yep.
We'll see the tripwire radar in a second here.
I love what ZZHL is doing, Zat. They're attacking on so many fronts at once. They're trying to overload Resin's ability to respond.
Which is absolutely how you have to do it.
Yep. Because now they're standing on the C cap and the A cap. Stalingrad radar coming up now. Single line, the Conga torpedoes going by, no gain. They're gonna reset the Daring. No A cap for you.
Now we're getting to the part where the Hildebrand needs to get its guns in the battle as well, not just the bombers.
I mean, he has moved way up.
He's moved way up, so that's good. This is different from the last game we saw earlier today with the Hildebrand player. But I still feel like he's not doing enough for the team, and Ergo's just getting farmed.
Yep. They are able to flip A, but not before Resin builds a 200-point lead. ZZHL also still working a health advantage with their one destroyer lineup. They're going to get this Howden Liu here in a moment.
Yeah, Mad Dog with the AP
kill
into Ergo's stern.
There it is. The entire eastern half of the map now basically belonging to Resin. ZZHL sitting on a cap advantage, but let's see how long they're able to hold it now that Resin is freed up to redeploy some resources around. Peyton and Legend fairly beat up here along the top of the map, but plenty of room for them to run in this corner.
Yeah,
the bombs are coming for them now.
They've done a nice job of rotating through the vision so they, don't get focused fired to death.
Well, and I'll say this, ZZHL has also done a really good job of preserving the HP they have on this flank against this Republique. Peyton does not have a lot of damage. According to the mod, if you believe the mod, still has under 20,000 damage.
Yeah.
In a repub, that's crazy. He's just barely hitting these guys.
So Hildebrand is being used just to spot these guys, prevent them from backing off.
Yeah, they really need these kills. ZZHL needs to pick up one or both of these ships. I mean, both is obviously the preference if they can get it.
Why not both?
Why not both? But they're running, they need to do it before time. Even though they have a cap advantage, they are still losing this game in 2.5 minutes.
Yep. Formula quite low now. 30 seconds till a heal. He's got DCP available. But he's basically going to have to just go all the way to the corner, and he's running out of corner.
He's running out of map. Peyton finally having to turn here, but he's managed to get a heal off, back up over 40,000 HP.
Oh, well, I got a little greedy there. Thought maybe I can go in and drop my bombs. Nope.
Finally, a good hit out of the repub guns there on that Brennus. 12-11 taking about a 10k hit.
Formula is getting the heal off.
The enemy is about to win.
Formula does survive to his next heal as his team ticks over 900 points. Now look at what Mad Dog is out here farming the Hildebrand.
Mm-hmm.
Broadside with the AP here. The Hildebrand more or less stationary is going to take at least 2 of these torpedoes as well. That could be a massive kill.
The Dow trying to smoke up his buddy now.
Yep, the Prince Orangi bombs coming in. Not really landing any of the bombs. 4K double fires.
Yeah, that's a dead Hildebrand. Most expensive ship in the game, dead.
Most expensive ship on the team ends up being a huge liability for ZZHL as they drive it just too far forward at some point. They're trying to shove NN into the C cap now, but there's only 7 seconds left. They're going to just step on this cap and hold resin at 998.
998.
And so
that's
now
amazing.
resin has to back. They have to dislodge this Prince Orangi. Or bag a kill. However they get there, they gotta kill something. Well, they gotta kill something, and it needs to be this Prince Orangi. Even if you ram him, that is an acceptable trade in my opinion right now.
It is 100% acceptable because you get the point tick.
Yeah, you've got to get him. You've got to get him out of this cap. Here come the Z42 shells. Anything they can do, their entire game hinges on getting this guy out of the C cap. They have perfect knowledge of exactly where he is at all times. He's locked up on Big Boy's Hydro. Both of those ships hydroed.
Meanwhile, ZZHL focusing hard on getting Peyton out.
Yep. They've got to bag one of these kills up north. They no longer can benefit from the Hildebrand spotting.
Right.
Big Boy getting some good AP work in there as they finally land some sticky fires. ZZHL trying to buy time. See if they can close this gap. They're only 60 seconds from a win themselves.
Oh.
But as soon as Big Boy reloads, this should be it.
Y turn and beaching.
And there it is.
Wow, the Brennus died first.
One tick.
The Zao killed the Brennus.
Oh!
That's what triggered the win.
Oh, the Zao killed the Brennus. I missed that completely. Look at that. You're right.
Yep.
The Zao seals the deal. Legend, I think, probably your MVP of that game, Zath.
Yes.
What a finish. So much going on in opposite corners.
Yes, so much. And I think I just realized, yep. Oh, well.
What?
The game's over and I used the wrong overlay. Oh, well. I had green as ZZHL, but you guys know you're watching. But the cool thing is now I get to use this screen for the first time ever.
Yes. We can finally use, oh yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta set that. And we have not been using our little fancy winter screen because it wasn't ready. But now we can use it. Look at that. Congrats to Resin. Hashtag hope for NA, Zath.
Yes. Yes. What a series. This was great.
That was a great series. Man, that series like that is why we love events like this. All right, let's have a look at the playoff bracket. How we looking? HSR and Bonks both won their matches, Zath. 3 NA teams still hanging on there. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, Bonks gets to play against Throw now. Okay. Okay.
And HSR draws Moyai. So tomorrow, or I should not say tomorrow, next weekend, early on Saturday morning, we will have some interesting choices to make. We have a variety of teams and interesting matches to look into. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. As you guys can see, that's it for